Welcome back to Color Quest, a series of brief but informational videos where I teach you all about color theory. Today we'll be learning about what a color palette is and the tools that are available to you in order to help you pick the best color palettes possible. A color palette is simply multiple colors put together into a visually appealing group. When you design anything, you want to use a color palette to define which colors to stick to. Not only does this help prevent the use of too many colors, but it also makes the composition look great and put together. Color palettes are often variations of a hue, and this includes tints, tones, and shades. This image shows a fantastic variety of color palettes. Each one of these has a lot of colors, and is likely something you'd use in a drawing rather than, say, designing a website. Before we continue, there are 2 tips I want to share with you for when you're making your own color palettes. The first is to remember that similarly to warm and cool colors, each color has its own meaning. Feel free to pause or come back if you forget, but you can also just do a quick Google search to find even more meanings of what colors mean rather than what the simple list has. The second is to use nature as your inspiration. Take a walk around, pull out your phone, and take some pictures of things that you think look visually appealing. Nature can be a massive source of inspiration, and it's completely free. Here are 3 photos of nature. You can see how the color palette at the bottom of each picture was created using simple photos. You can do this too. Let's do some together right now. This first image is of mountains and hills. I picked out these colors myself using the eyedropper tool. Without fiddling with it too much, I think this color palette looks pretty good. The second image is of some water crashing against some rocks. These are the colors I found in about a minute. Let's say you want more than just 4 colors though. What can you do? Well, you can keep going using the eyedropper tool to select more colors, but what I did here is I took each color, I grabbed the color that was in between them, so I have 3 more additional colors. It's not perfect since my original colors were not organized, but this is a great method to quickly grab some colors before adjusting them as you need. When you are designing something, say a website, and you need to have a couple different colors rather than a large range, people will use what is called the 60-30-10 rule. This is when 60% is the primary color, 30% is the secondary color, and 10% is just the accent color. Use the sunflower as an example. Can you think of what colors you would use with the 60-30-10 rule in mind? The colors I picked out were yellow, brown, and this olive green. These are the percentages I picked out for this image. Since yellow is the focus, brown is the next obvious color to me, with green being for accents that is more in the background. Keep in mind that while these colors do look great together, you likely wouldn't want to use these colors for a website since the brown and green are very close together and the yellow stands out quite a bit. It's great to try things, but don't forget to take a step back and think about the color palette you've picked out, as well as what you're using it for. I want to share a couple of really good and free resources with you, none of which you need an account for. The first resource is Adobe Color. It has several different tabs to pick from at the top of the screen. The first tab is the standard color wheel. You can select which color harmony you want, as well as which color mode. You can grab any of the circles to adjust the colors as you see fit, but this resource is fantastic because it adjusts the other colors accordingly. The second tab extracts colors from an image you upload to give you a set amount of colors. You can extract different colors using the different modes on the left. I've uploaded the Carry On Devlog thumbnail as an example for you to see. The third extracts a gradient rather than a sample set of colors. You can increase the amount of gradient stops it has to add more colors to the gradient. The fourth tab is Accessibility Tools. You can use the gradient sliders to determine how text and shapes of a color contrast against another color. You can also swap it to the colorblind safe mode, which shows you what the colors you picked looks to people who have different types of color blindness. Just to show you as an example, this is why you don't ever pick green and red together, as it looks like shades of yellow to certain types of color blindness. It also lets you know if there are any potential issues for color blindness risks. The second resource is Paletton.com. Very similar to the first tab of Adobe Color, this one also allows you to pick from different types of color harmony. But what I like about this one is that it shows you how the colors look against other colors, allowing you to compare and contrast even more. The third resource I have is Coolors.co. I like to use this one to generate random color schemes if I'm completely out of ideas. It gives you a nice little tutorial when you first load it up. You hit space to randomize the colors. You can lock the colors you like and keep randomizing the rest, as well as adjusting individual colors you need. This website has a bunch of different tools and options at the top, so definitely check this resource out as well. Each one of these resources has its own pros and cons. There's definitely reasons to use all of them for varying different ways. Experiment them and see what color palettes you can come up with. And that's all for part 4 of our Color Quest series. Stay tuned and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.